Welcome back to another episode of Yours Truly. It is I, your host, Druelee, of course. I hope each and every one of you is having a wonderful day, whether it's the morning, afternoon, evening, or at night. If you are driving to work while listening, please drive safe. And if you're at home making dinner or relaxing before the night ends, please grab any drink of your liking, relax, and enjoy the show. So before I begin this episode, there are a few things I'd like to update you guys on. First, all Dear Sister letters and poems are now available for submissions through Google Doc. I posted them up on my Facebook page so you guys have access to them to submit your letters and poems. I figured it'll be easier just to have them all in one place. And all submissions are 100% anonymous. Unless you put your nickname or fake name, then I'll address you with that name. Also, I forgot to mention on the first episode that if you would love to share your very own life experiences and lessons with me and to the rest of the people listening, please reach out to me. I would love to have you as a guest to come on my podcast and tell your stories. Keep in mind that my podcast is about discussing raw and real life experiences. I myself am not a surface level person. I go very deep with my topics. If you somehow can't be vulnerable and tell your authentic truth, then this platform is not for you. Lastly, throughout the episodes and the topics that I'll be sharing and discussing, there will be times where I will be vulnerable, in which I will be in tune with my emotions. So please do not mind me. If I am talking about a certain topic where I will sound mean, harsh, negative, angered, annoyed, sad, or even crying, it's because, just thinking about the past and, talking about what has happened to me in the past. At that time, I didn't allow myself to be in tune with my emotions. So by discussing it now and in the future, I am allowing myself to be in those emotions. And for those who get where I'm coming from, you get where I'm coming from. I, at the end of the day, don't mean any harm, but I don't need permission from anyone to tell me how I should react or feel. Please just let me be in the present in my emotions as I discuss these topics with you. So, with that being said, let's get on with the episodes. So on episode 2, the main purpose of this is pretty much for you guys to get to know me a little bit. Just a little, background about me. I'm not going to go too much in details, just a whole lot, just because, like I said, and I will always repeat myself, each episode will be different, and I will go in details on certain topics, okay? Just because it's very short, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to go in details with it. I will surely do, okay? But let's just get started with what I have so far, or what I want you guys to know about me. Let's see. Okay, so I was born and raised in the heart of North Minneapolis, Minnesota all my life. My parents have lived in their Minneapolis, or what my siblings and I will call the greenhouse, for almost 30 years. I spent my childhood years in that house, and throughout the episode, this greenhouse will be mentioned a lot, and it is an important part of my life. I am the 4th oldest from 11 of us siblings. I don't have any stepmom or stepdad. All 11 of us siblings have the same parents, okay? I have 2 older sisters, 1 older brother, 3 younger sisters, and 4 youngest brother. Aside from my family, we are Hmong. We are not one of your typical Hmong family. I grew up, or you could say my family and I grew up believing in the Christian religion. And my family did not follow what you would call in my culture the old ways or old traditions, which is shamanism. most of my years was spent in church, and the church members was technically part of what I call family. I was never close to my cousins nor my uncles and aunts as I got older, and I just saw the people I went to church as just family to me. So as I continue to, be active in the church, I also went to college at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, and I graduated with a bachelor's degree majoring in youth studies. During my last year of school, I met the ex at church. We dated for 4 years, got married in 2015. Fast forward to 5 years later, divorced him, and now I'm currently single and working on becoming a better person. So that's just a small little snippet of my intro, or just for you guys to get to know me a little bit. If there's anything that you guys want me to elaborate on, let me know, and I will definitely do an episode on that for you guys, okay? So with that being said, I did share a Google Doc on asking you guys if you guys could submit questions that you guys wanted me to answer. So for those who submitted questions, thank you so much for doing that. A lot of the questions were pertaining to, life like before and after divorce. And you guys, I can talk all day about this, but I'm super glad that you guys are, asking me these questions. And so I have these questions pulled up, and let's get to it. So the first question is, what are your goals in life now? So as of now, or you could say life, or my life goals after divorce. For those who knows me personally, I recently launched a press-on nails business in February 22nd, 2022. I recently launched that, and I've always loved doing nails. I just didn't begin that journey just because when you get into a relationship, for me personally, I pretty much lost my sense of self, and so a lot of my energy and time was towards the relationship and towards the ex. And so I pretty much pushed the nail business or doing nails on the back burner. But after the divorce, I just decided, what? I'm single. I don't have nothing going on. No kids. Let me just get this going. And so I just decided, let's just do this. After launching my small business, I've also wanted to launch this podcast as well too. And like I mentioned in episode 1, I just wanted to bring awareness to those who are going through the same thing as I went through and are in need of, I guess, advice or just something that will help them get through their own situation, because I myself didn't have that. And so I feel like when you meet someone, or if you know someone who can be transparent and who can tell their honest truth about what they experienced, then you tend to want to pretty much follow, and you pretty much want to you basically feel like you have someone that went through the same thing and that you're not alone, basically. So that was just basically one of the main purposes of me launching this podcast. At first I didn't want to do it just because, fear, has kept me from not launching this. And I just got to a point where I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna launch it. So, but those two are the main things that I've done so far. The next goal that I have in life and what I'm currently doing right now, I haven't announced this to my nail business social media. I haven't posted on my nail business on Facebook or Instagram, but currently, as of now, I am in a process of getting my license to be a nail tech. It has been a long time coming. A lot of friends and family have been asking me to get certified, or not certified, to get licensed. And so I'm taking this time to do that. Right now, I'm taking class online, and then in the beginning of May, I will eventually go on campus and pretty much do hands-on. And so I'm looking forward for that. So you guys are the first to know that I'm actually doing this, okay? I was gonna wait until, I, got my hours and like, I don't know, do like a post or something on my social media, but I'm gonna wait on that. But if you're listening to me right now, you are the first one to hear that. Yes, I am officially in the path of getting my license to be a nail tech. So families and friends, watch out for those promotion and watch out for posts that I will be posting about getting free nails done, okay? All right, let's go to the next question. What was the hardest realization or truth you had to come to terms with regarding yourself after your divorce? I have learned that after divorce, that it doesn't matter if you are a good woman, you cannot keep a man. And there's this saying that's going on around social media is that if he wanted to be kept, he would have been kept. And with that, it's pretty much saying that if he himself want to keep you, then he has to want it for himself. It doesn't matter, like TMI, okay? It doesn't matter if you cook, you clean, you do his laundry, you massage him, you give him good sex, I don't know, try any position, threesome, whatever the fuck you guys do in the bedroom. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what you do. At the end of the day, if you are a good woman or if you're a good man, you cannot keep them. Because if they don't want you in the first place, then they're not going to try the hardest to be in the relationship with you. And to add to that, it doesn't matter how pretty, how beautiful, how sexy, how bomb you look as a person, they still don't want to try the hardest to be with you. Okay? Even if you're overweight, you're curvy, you're tall, short, it doesn't matter what size you are. At the end of the day, they don't give a fuck. Okay? They are going to do whatever they want to do because they're selfish like that. And, as much as you try so hard to fix yourself, as much as you try so hard to, I don't know, get surgery or make yourself look beautiful, make yourself fit, going to the gym or whatever, if they themselves don't want to try the hardest to be in the relationship or to win you over, then it's not going to work out. So that's the first thing, okay? The second thing is, so this is based on my personal experience, okay? This is not pertaining to everyone. There are going to be people out there that experience the same thing as me, but for the second one, if your parents don't support you in your entire life before getting married, they will not after divorce. Compared to my parents, my mom and my dad, my mom was the type of parent that did support me and my sibling most of the time. My dad, not really. And so with this, the reason why I said that if your parents don't support you your entire life, even before you get married or after, if which you decide to get divorced, then they're not going to support you. And like I mentioned, in my experience, from my dad, he couldn't do anything to help me. Like I felt like I have to pretty much call people to finalize my own divorce. And I get that my dad doesn't have experience in the divorce field, or whatever you want to call this, because none of my siblings are divorced besides me. And so he even told me that he doesn't know how the divorce procedures is supposed to go about. But my thing is that, you grew up in this Hmong culture. Shouldn't you at least know a little bit of it? Shouldn't you have close relatives who know the divorce process? And, I guess what I'm trying to say is that, I was in a vulnerable place in my life, and my dad was the person where, I thought that he could at least help me, reach out to the elders, or reach out to our Lee family to discuss about this, or even reach out to the church members. But at the end of the day, he didn't do that because he himself wasn't mentally there. He was still going through some stupid shit with my mom, and so he and my mom are having marriage issues. And so I kind of figured that he wasn't going to be there 100% to support me. And then I will eventually go into detail as to what actually happened when I did talk to my dad about, divorcing the ex, and the ex's dad coming over to my dad's house. And, overall with that experience, I'll have to say that I'm very disappointed in my dad for not being there for his daughter when she needed him the most. And all I gotta say is, there's no fucking excuse. When your child is vulnerable, when your child is coming to you for help, and you're not gonna be there to fucking help them, then what kind of parent are you? What kind of a father are you to your daughters? It goes a lot deeper, but like I said, in one of my episodes, I will eventually get into details with that. So it goes to say that if you are one of those people that have parents that has never supported you in your life before or after marriage, then chances are they're not going to support you when you're on your lowest, or when you actually plan to get divorced. They're not going to help you. So that's just my experience on that. The third thing about that, the hardest realization, the truth that I had to come to terms with regarding myself after the divorce, is that, like I just mentioned, don't live in fear of others and what they think about you. So I mentioned a lot about fear, like being afraid of what my parents would think of me. Just in general, being afraid of, like, I don't know, the public would think of me. And I just don't want to live in fear anymore. Half of the people wish that they can be brave enough to divorce their spouse. And if you are one of those who are able to do that, it's because you know your worth. And you know your worth, and you just didn't give a fuck no more. Because I didn't give a fuck no more. I just fuck this shit. I want what's best for me, and this isn't for me. And I don't want to live in life in fear of, disappointing other people, or, trying to cater to other people's needs. So those are the 3 points for that question. Let's move on to the next one. How do you feel you've changed as a person since leaving your ex? 4 things that I have for that. I don't take bullshit from people anymore. I just don't. I don't give people second chances. I don't give people a benefit of the doubt. My thing is that, if you're capable of walking, if you're not disabled, or you don't have anything that is holding you back from, I don't know, mobilizing or going to work, or if you have common sense and you're not stupid, then yeah, I don't take bullshit from people no more. Fuck that shit. Second thing, like I mentioned on the second question, I don't want to live in fear. I don't want to live in fear of just a couple things about that. I don't want to live, well, first obvious would be, fearing of what my parents would think of me, fear of what my family would think of me, fear of what the church people would think of me, fear of what the public would think about me. I just don't want to live in fear no more, because I feel like when you live in fear, it holds you back. The third one would be, I ask more questions when I feel like something is wrong. When someone says something to me and I feel like, oh, it doesn't sound good, or it just bothers me, I'm gonna ask questions. And it's not because I'm trying to challenge the other person or trying to prove my point, but ladies, if your gut instinct is telling you something, you have questions, you have to ask, because you never know if there's something wrong. And lastly, the fourth one will be fuck it moment. I would definitely do a pod or an episode on my fuck it moment, but for sure, I have that fuck it moment. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Do you feel traumatized by your past? Yes, I do feel traumatized. And the reason why I felt traumatized is because, just talking about it makes me think about the past and what I've gone through. Having people around me mentioning about the ex, or, people close to me mentioning about their relationship problems, it just makes me think about, oh shit, I've been through the same thing. Or it makes me feel like I could have done things differently, or makes me feel like, it makes me want to tell close friends and family, oh, you should do this or do that, but I don't know, it does traumatize me, but if you meet anybody who's been through the same situation like me, and they tell you that they don't get traumatized, they're lying to you. And I'm gonna tell you guys honestly, yes, talking about your past when it was something that hurt you so much will traumatize you. Next question, it kind of flows with the last one. It says, do you ever think, what if I stayed? Yes, I do. Similar to, what if I said things differently? What if I did things differently? My thing is that having those what ifs thoughts makes me feel like I didn't do enough. It makes me doubt myself, my ability to love that person, my ability to be enough for that person. I just feel like I wasn't good enough. I blame myself for all the problems that had happened. And I do have those what if moments. And, it's normal, but at the same time, like when you start having what if thoughts, then something's not right in that relationship. Just think about it. Next question. So proud of how far you've come, babe. You have so much courage to leave your situation. Can't wait to see you grow more and more. Thank you so much. What advice can you give to someone who was in your situation? Couple of things, okay? Number one, do all you can to fix your relationship before divorcing or breaking up. And that's either talking to someone you can trust that is outside of family members, go to couple counseling or therapy, and most importantly, learn to communicate with each other. So the first thing that I mentioned was talking to someone that you trust that's outside of family members. You don't want to talk to, let's say for example, okay, when me and the ex had our, I don't know, issue or separation or whatever you want to call it, I know that he went behind my back and told his his stepmom about our problems, and I don't trust his stepmom. And and for me, I couldn't talk to anybody about anything, and so I just talked to whoever I thought that I can trust. But honestly, I feel like you're talking to close family members, they're not going to help you with your problems. And it's best if you find somebody who you can trust. Find a couple who, I know it's a lot harder to find people who actually have their marriage on point, and they have, I don't know, their life together. But my thing is, just don't talk to any family members that you can't trust, because you never know, they're gonna gossip and tell your business to other family members. You don't want that. If there are any family members that you are close to where you can fully trust them, for example, if you are able to talk to one of your aunts or your uncle one-on-one, and you can trust that that person can keep you guys' conversation between the both of you guys and not spread rumors or tell other people, then yes, I would definitely talk to that person. Don't just randomly just talk to anybody. Make sure that the person that you are talking to is the person who understands the respect of the conversation that you both are having, and that that person is willing to tell you the good and the bad when it comes to your problems. I encourage everyone, couples or individuals, to seek counseling or seek therapy. I know it may cost money, but I feel like me and the ex, we didn't go to couple counseling or therapy. We could have, but my thing was that I felt like I would go and do that, but he wouldn't. And so again, I'll elaborate more on that on the other episodes. So just stay tuned for that. But for sure, seek counseling or therapy. And then the most important part, like I mentioned, that you both have to communicate with each other. You guys have to talk to each other about your problems. And that was one of the things that I was really bad at. The ex was really bad at too. And so if you have to individually learn how to communicate, then find ways to learn how to improve your communication. But at the same time, you both have to express your feelings to each other, so you guys can understand each other more. The next question: where have you traveled to, and where do you want to travel to? So last year I traveled to Las Vegas. So I've been to Las Vegas for I think 3 times now with my girlfriends. Always a blast. Whatever happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. It will always be a place where I will continuously go travel. Definitely, for sure. A couple of places that I've been to is Hawaii, in Maui, Hawaii, and South Dakota, just to see the Mount Rushmore. Places that I would love to travel to definitely will have to be New York. New York has always been the state that I been dreaming to go visit. I am a city girl, and so I love tall buildings, even though I'm afraid of heights, but I love tall buildings, and New York has beautiful buildings, and so that's one of the places that I want to travel. Alongside with that will be Lake Tahoe, beautiful lake, especially in the summer. I've seen pictures, very pretty. And definitely go visit all of the national state parks. And then I will also would love to go travel outside of the states. I don't know, it doesn't matter where, could be in European, Asia, I don't know, Antarctica, Africa, it doesn't matter. I would love to travel. When it comes to traveling, I will love to travel with a group of people, or, now that I'm single, as much as I want to travel by myself, I still don't trust myself, nor do I trust people outside of me. So you never know, as a woman, it can be a scary thing, but hey, like I said, if I'm single, you're single, you want to travel, hit me up, let's plan something, let's do something fun. I'm up for it. So that's that. So the next question, and I think this would be like the final question. Okay. The question is, I think it's brave to be a woman in today's society to take the leap to free yourself. Hmong women are always taught to be xiande. So the term xiande from my native language, my Hmong native language, means to be patient. So with that term xiande, I don't like that term. I feel like nowadays in my generation, us women can't be patient anymore. I will definitely go in depth with this subject, but I'm just going to keep it short and simple, just so that you guys can tune in to the episode when that is aired, okay? So just stay tuned for that. So this is pretty much what it means for a Hmong woman to just be patient when it comes to their relationship or with their marriage. Even if they're treated badly, they have to be patient. So the question says, when did you realize your relationship wasn't going to work out, and what made you take the final step to put yourself first? Like, what pushed over that edge? I felt like I was doing all of the work on communicating. I was trying so hard to find ways to make him feel better. I felt like I was like his therapist, his doctor. Like, I was doing everything just to cater to his dumbass, okay? Like, I had so much love for him that I just did everything, and that was all that I knew. And what pushed me over the edge to tell myself that nope, this is it. First thing was the disrespect. The disrespect of not respecting me as a wife, not respecting me as a daughter-in-law, when the ex's parents treated me like shit, or they say things to pretty much look down on me, or just really rude, negative things that his parents would say to me. He couldn't respect me as his wife to protect me and to tell his parents that, hey, do not disrespect my wife. He didn't get that, or somehow that didn't comprehend in his mind to say that to his parents. And throughout the relationship and the marriage life, there was no respect, and that was all that I wanted for him. And he couldn't respect me the way that I needed or wanted him to. So that's the first reason why I decided, this is the end of the relationship. It doesn't matter how much I respect him or did so much for him to see that, I wanted to respect him. As the years go by, there was just so much resentment to the point where I couldn't see myself to respect him anymore. And the last straw, that was it. And again, I will go into details as to what actually happened, as to why the disrespect was part of the last straw for me. And then the second one will be, he was cheating. Now, I can go into details with that, but you guys, I'm not gonna go into detail, because guess what? This will be for another episode. I know you guys are gonna hate me, but I want to be able to tell you guys in detail as to how things happened, and you guys just trust me on this, okay? Just stay tuned, be my listener, and I will tell you more in details. But to keep it short, him cheating was the pushing the edge for me to tell myself that, Drew, you are worth more than this bullshit. You need to end this relationship now. So that was one of the number one reason why, or one of the reason I realized that this relationship wasn't going, and that was the cheating part, was the part that drove me to push me off the edge to end the relationship. This question has two questions to it. So the first one was that, and then the second one, it says, does thinking about this trigger you, or do you think you have healed beyond the pain and it's now just your past life? I'm just gonna say that healing is a ongoing life journey. You know you are done healing when things pertaining to your past does not bother you and you're able to talk about it to others. Yes, there will be times where you will think about it and you will cry, you'll be in your emotion, and you guys, it's okay to take a cry break. It's okay to be in your emotion. You know, that's just part of your healing journey. You will never stop healing. You have to continue doing the healing so that you can better yourself, better your mental health as well. People that say that, you know, through God, I've healed my trauma. You know, I've healed the next following week. You guys, they're fucking lying, okay? They're just putting it up front because, you know, they're just trying to stroke their ego. Like, really, like, hearing from me, honest the truth, healing takes time, and healing is going to be like a lifelong journey for you if you need to do those healings, okay? So those are the questions that was given to me, and like I mentioned, thank you so much for those who submitted those questions. I truly do appreciate that. Let's move on to the next segment of the episode. So like I mentioned, please submit any of the Dear Sister letters. I will be reading one of the letters on my podcast. I finally got one. Thank you so much for whoever sent this. For those who hasn't sent anything, please do. I like I say, I'm not a licensed therapist, psychologist, or whatever you want to call it, but you know, if you're going through the same experience as I did and you want, I don't know, like advice from me, I will do my best to help you, okay? But let's go on into reading this Dear Sister letters. It says, Dear Sister, I've been feeling unhappy in my marriage for a long time now. Can't recall when I actually felt truly happy. My husband and I used to have time to sit down one-on-one to talk. Just talk about life, the future, or problems, but it's been forever since we had those talk. His work is taking a toll on him. I know he works hard to provide for the family, but I feel like he's consistently using work as an excuse for everything he's feeling. He doesn't make time for us anymore, and even when there's time, we both rather spend it on our own doing things we like. I want to find a time to talk, to tell him how I feel, but I fear it being backfired at me. I fear that he will once again use the excuse of work stress to sweep everything under the rug again. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing it all, taking care of the kids, the house, and even taking care of him, that I forgot about myself. I don't know what it feels like to love him anymore. I get lost in taking care of everyone while he gets lost in his job. There's no room for us. The loss of affection and words of affirmation is non-existence. I want to ask you, how should I go about conveying my unhappiness to him without him giving me a bad reaction? I want my feelings to be validated. Thank you for whoever's that sent me this letter. Really do appreciate it. So here is my response to your letter. There's a couple questions I want to ask you, okay? First question. Do you make time for him? Both of you guys need to make time for each other. Working and doing self things are excuses. Cut the shit off, okay? If you guys are able to make time for work, if you're able to make time for yourself, you can make time for each other. If not, why are you guys together? You guys are married. You guys created life, which is you guys as kids. You guys should make time. There is time for each other. Even if it's like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you guys have time. It's just that you both have to make time for it. The other question that I have for you guys is, how often are you guys going on dates? Because, okay, I get that going on dates can be really tricky and it can be hard, especially when you have kids and, you know, sometimes your family can't babysit. Hey, maybe take your kids with you. I don't know. But I believe that even though you guys are married, you still need to chase each other. You still need to go on dates. For me as a person, I love going on dates. I love going out to eat and have a good time, you know, and spend time with my boo, okay? If I have a boo. But you guys should have time to go on dates. If not, maybe go on a walk. You know, I guess you guys can walk at Lake Phelan or, I don't know, Lake Harriet, whichever town you're in. You know, like a walk, you know, just to talk about life, you know, I don't know, just anything. It could be anything. But you guys should have time to go on a date, okay? I feel that it's very important for you as a person to communicate with him and let him know how you are currently feeling. You did mention you feel fear, and like in the beginning of my episode, I mentioned a lot about me feeling fearing about my parents, fearing about what people have to say about me. You said that you fear that by you talking to him will backfire you. And girl, let me tell you, stop living in fear. Just do it and tell him. And just to let you know, guys are super slow. They're fucking slow as hell. Maybe they're just purposely doing that, but I think when it comes to us women and our emotions, they're very slow. And if something is bothering you, you have to tell him. He's your husband for a reason. He's your partner for a reason. Talk to him. When you do talk to him, keep in mind that he also has his own emotions. Give him time to talk about his, and when he talk about his emotions and how he feels about, it could be you, work, the kids, the family, whatever that he's feeling. You know, I know that it's really hard for us women to just sit back and not like talk back, but we also have to give our man a space to talk about their feelings. And if you have to bite your tongue and listen, you know, even if he says things that may hurt you, at the same time, you have to sit there, listen to him, understand where he's coming from. You pretty much have to imagine yourself in his shoes. If you were in his shoes, how would you feel, basically? And overall, with all of that, you know, let's say that if you can't talk to him in person, how about you start, you know, like writing him a letter? Why don't you both write a letter to each other? So what I did was, okay, let me go back. So if he's not able to talk to you face to face, physically, you guys can write letters to each other. So what I did was, I took the letter that you wrote to me and kind of switch it up a bit. Maybe you can use your letter and write that to him. So what I will be doing is I will post what I revised on your letter in hopes that you see it. And then, you know, if you want to take this advice and just write him a letter and have him write you a letter, that's a start. You know what I'm saying? So that's just another way of just communicating with each other, because I know some people have a hard time speaking their mind face to face, and it's better just to write it down. And it doesn't matter what kind of communication you guys have, as long as you guys have that. So writing letters is another form of communication. So with this revised letter, this is what I wrote, and this can be something that you can start off writing to your husband and you go from there. This is what I wrote. Okay. I don't know what you call your husband or your lover, but this is what I'm gonna address it, okay? So imagine if I was you, and this is what I would write to my husband, okay? Or my future husband. Dear Boo Thang, I've been feeling unhappy in our marriage for a long time. I can't recall the last time I actually feel truly happy. We used to have time to sit down one-on-one to talk. Just talk about life, the future, or problems. But it's been forever since we last had those talks. I miss those days. I can tell that work is taking a toll on you, and I know you have worked so hard to provide for our family, and I appreciate everything that you do. However, I feel you are consistently using work as an excuse for everything you are feeling. I feel we don't make time for each other anymore, and even when there's time, we both rather spend it on our own doing things we like. I want to find a time to talk, to tell you how I feel, but I don't want you to think that it is anything bad. I don't want you to use the excuse of work stress to sweep everything under the rug. And then once you're done with that, then you can pretty much express how you feel. And so this is the second part of what you can add to your letter. And it goes like this. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing it all, taking care of the kids, the house, and even taking care of you, that I forgot about myself. I don't even know what it feels like to love you in the way I once loved you. I get lost in taking care of everyone, and I feel you get lost in your job. There's no room for us. The loss of affection and words of affirmation is non-existence. And then from there, you can just add some more. And, just like I said, just tell him how you feel. And, don't blame him for anything. Just be honest with your feelings and just tell him how you feel. Use a lot of I's. Use less of you, okay? Let me say that again. Use a lot of I's. Use less of you. All right? And you also mentioned that, you take care of the kids, you're doing everything, you're cleaning up the house, you take care of him to the point where you forgot about yourself. And I'm letting you know that, happiness is within yourself. And when you love and value who you are as a person, you're able to give love to others. I know that for us women, it's really hard for us to balance everything. And I gotta say, us women, we can balance a whole lot of shit in our life, but when it comes to like family and the people that we love, we tend to put them first, because that's just part of our nature, and we are just loving people. But always remember that you have to put yourself first too. You have to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, who will? If you have a spouse that loves you and knows how to take care of you, give you the love that you need and want, then it wouldn't be stressful. So the way I see it with marriage is that it's a give and take. You give to him, he takes. He gives to you, and then you take. Eventually, I will discuss more about what I view marriage as of now. But at the end of the day, you guys are together. You guys have to feed off of each other. You guys have to, love each other, help each other out. That way you both can work as a team to take care of your kids in your own household. And so let's just say that, you writing the letters, or if you guys do talk face to face and he's not responding and he's acting like a big baby and he's not having it, girl, that's another problem. Then I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say, girl. It's either you make your exit plan and get the fuck out of there, or I don't know. But like I say, you have to try everything before you leave. Like I mentioned in the middle of question, what advice can I give someone who was in your situation? Go back to that. And I did explain a lot more about that. So like I say, do whatever it takes to work on your marriage or work on your relationship, because even if it's like a small petty thing, it's not big enough to end it. You both have to be able to want to work on the relationship. Let's say that if you're the only one that's putting 100% on the relationship and you want to change, you want to become better, and he doesn't, there's going to be a problem. Okay. So I hope that my advice helped you. If not, then I'm sorry. But again, I'm not an expert, but I've been there. I know what it's like to lose feelings and feel like you're losing yourself. But I hope that whatever advice I give you, that you take it. If not, it's okay. But I wish you the best of luck, and thank you so much for being the first one to submit in the letters to me. So thank you. And our last part of the episode, I will be sharing you guys a poem that I found on Google. You guys have not been giving me poems lately. So please, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, submit poems for me so that I can read it on my episodes, and I will definitely read yours. I felt like poem is another way to heal. It's like words of affirmation. And ever since my journey of self-healing and finding myself, I've been reading a lot of poems and seeing a lot of words of affirmation. And so it helps me to know that reading poems can also validate what I'm feeling, what I'm currently feeling. And so this is just a random poem that I found on Google. So thank you, Google, for providing this poem. I don't know who the author is, but let me just go ahead and just read this poem for you guys. The title is called Finding Myself in Losing You. I seek truth in your eyes, find lies never knew existed, and wonder how stained is your soul. I wish to discover purity caged within you, to dig deeper until I can uncover the purpose of deception. Sing to me, voice full of cracks and heartbreaks. I never meant to hurt you, but how can I trust your words when your testimony has been flawed since the moment your lips became an echo canon? I placed honesty in your bones and hope you could bloom. I always stopped short of leaving, couldn't see my future. I always stopped short of leaving. I couldn't see my future without the sound of your voice, praying that one day you would see. I try so hard for you. I always try so hard for you. I finally pulled myself away, and the next time you reached for my hand, it wasn't there to grab. I am struggling to fly on my own, but I will still soar above your treachery. I do not belong to you. My soul no longer bleeds, and I have found that I no longer wonder about the state of yours. Nevertheless, I hope you break free. Ooh, that ties to everything that I've talked about. Finding myself in losing you. Well, that's it, you guys. That's the end of the episode. I hope that you guys got to know me a little bit. And like I always have to repeat myself. You guys, I repeat myself a lot, but I just want to make sure that I'm getting all the information out there, that, just because today's episode, some of the topics are very short, but again, keep listening. I will upload and pull out as much episodes out, and you guys will definitely hear the juicy details of what happened before and after divorce, definitely. And you guys will know a little bit more about who I am on a deeper side. This is just the surface level, which I hate, but yes, this is definitely the surface level. This is just a start, but I hope that you guys enjoy this second episode on my podcast. And again, thank you so much for tuning in and for listening. And again, if you have any Dear Sister letters that you want to submit to me, go ahead and submit that. Any poems that you've written yourself that you would love to share, please submit that as well. I have all the links on my Facebook page for you guys to click and submit away. And again, once again, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.